Tonight's evening is a night in which we give thanks to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to Hashem Yisbarach, for the schus of being a shliach. Tonight is a culmination of 5 days of workshops, plenary sessions, seminars, and farbrengens. 5,067 shluchim couples are now placed all around the world. We have reached 5,067 shluchim couples, 3,500 institutions in 108 countries and territories and in all 50 states. Represented here tonight is Klal Yisrael. And this is the schus which we have. Our sages tell us in the Medrash, Ikir Toldeseyem Shal Tzadikim Maisim Tevim. The primary legacy of the righteous is their good deeds, their impact on the world. If you can just take a moment and imagine hundreds of thousands of hours of limud Torah, weekly, thousands and tens of thousands of people coming to learn Shiurei Torah, learning that there's a Eibishter in the world. The faith and bitachon in Hashem, the mitzvah observance, the expression of Jewish pride, of the Giyon Yaakov, of a Jewish renaissance around the globe, emanating from this room tonight is unprecedented. However, the Rebbe taught us, if there are 10,000 Jews in your community, you have reached 9,999. You will get your reward, but your mission you did not fulfill. The legendary chief rabbi of Romania, Rabbi Moshe Kotlarsky, was a frequent visitor to the Rebbe. Once he came to the Rebbe and he had an appointment for 12:30 at night. As is known, the Rebbe used to sit Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays from 8 o'clock at night till 7, 8 o'clock in the morning without a break. His appointment was for 12:30 and he arrived at 10:30. And he was standing by the door talking to the Rebbe's secretary, Rabbi Leibel Groner. When the door opened and someone went out, the Rebbe noticed him standing there and asked him to come in. He turned to the Rebbe and he said, "My appointment is for 12:30. I came, I can wait, I would like to learn something." The Rebbe turned to him and he said as follows, "When I see you standing at my door, I don't see you. I see the 25,000 Jews of Romania. And there is no way that I can have 25,000 Jews standing in my door, at my door." The Rebbe viewed each and every shliach, wherever he may be, not as an individual, but the thousands of Jews that he represents. The thousands and the tens of thousands of Jews that he represents. And this is our responsibility to each and every Jew, to see that he attends a Shir Torah. For this is what this theme of this year's Kinnis is of empowering our Balabatim, those that we come in contact with, that if you learned Aleph, you have an obligation to share it with someone. If you know how to put on tefillin, you have an obligation to share it with someone. If you know how to learn a Parsha Chumash, you have an obligation to share it with someone. And if each and every shliach will empower all of those that he comes in contact with, then we will literally reach each and every Jew in this universe. We recognize the challenges facing world Jewry, and we find ourselves on the front lines many times. Anti-Semitism is rearing its ugly head again in many countries around the world. We mention with great sorrow the passing of Laura Kay Aleh Shalom in Poway. And there are other challenges, be they financial, be they education of our children, many other challenges that there are. But the Rebbe taught us to see and understand every occurrence through the lens of Torah. To see the purpose of a challenge is to empower us, how one should grow from difficulty, how to flourish from our struggles. The Rebbe taught us that we don't fight terrorism with AKs. We don't fight them with tanks. We fight them with light. We fight them with lighting a candle which will illuminate the room and illuminate the whole world. The Rebbe seized and saw the potential within each and every one of us and charges us to see the tremendous potential within each and every Jew we encounter. Together, we will realize the potential envisioned by Hashem of our world, that we are capable of doing that which is seemingly impossible, that we are capable of standing up to the greatest of challenges. Sir Edmund Hillary tried to capture Mount Everest in 1951, but he didn't reach the peak. He almost made it to the summit. And being from New Zealand, he was a British citizen, and he came back home, and they made it to London, and they made a big parade for him, and they made a dinner. He felt very uncomfortable because ultimately he did not reach the peak. But he turned around, and behind him there was a picture of Mount Everest. And he turned to the picture and he said, "In the first battle between you and I, you won. But in the next battle, I will win." You know why? Because I don't cease to grow and you have stopped to grow. As long as we keep growing, we are capable of mounting the greatest of mountains, the most insurmountable of challenges. And then we will see as a world as Maimonides describes, in which there will be neither famine, war, or envy, but an abundance of good, peace, harmony, and imbued with the wisdom, warmth, and light of Torah and spiritual sensitivity, when we will be led speedily in our days by Mashiach Tzidkenu to our holy land. Thank you, and God bless you all.